What is going on, all you Pokemon collecting maniacs out there? This is Ryan, the PikiPikaPapa, and here we are, just like we do at the beginning of every single month, where I share with you what I think are 5 awesome investment opportunities here in the Pokemon market. Now, notice how I didn't say the best investment opportunities, because nobody knows what the best investment opportunities are. But I put this list together after doing a ton of research and a ton of data dives, and there's 3 things to consider whenever you look at one of PikiPikaPapa's investment lists. Is first and foremost, I have a long-term investment horizon, right? I'm talking 5, 10, 15 years, right? I'm not opposed to doing quick flips. I'm not opposed to pulling some early profits to reinvest into other things. But I approach every single investment opportunity with that long-term time horizon. If something matures early, hey, no problem. Selling it early, pulling some money, reinvesting it, I'm all about that. But I do start off with a long-term investment horizon. The other thing I always focus on is downside protection, right? You work hard for your money, I work hard for mine, and there's no such thing as a risk-free investment. But whenever I'm going to spend my Poké dollars, I really want to make sure that I understand what the risk is and that I think the downside is as protected as it possibly can be. And then number 3, which really ties into number 2, is I like to spend 80% of my time explaining the why and 20% of my time on the what. I think it's incredibly important that whenever we talk about investing into different products, especially in the Pokemon market where there's so many awesome things you can spend your money on right now, that we really talk about the why. And that's why I do so much data dives. That's why I do all this data warehousing. That's why I do trend analysis. Like, that is why the PikiPikaPapa channel exists. So as I get through this list of different products, understand that that is the premise of what we are coming from and what we are doing here. So with that being said, there are some exciting new products on this list that I haven't had on here before. And there's also some products that have been on here in the past, but are really starting to get that really juicy level. And I'm super excited about here in the month of January. So without further ado, let's get into it. And I'll get into the very first one right here, is Japanese 151 booster boxes. Now listen, I have never had a Japanese booster box on my investment list before in the past, and that is because, you know, it's just not really my area of competence. I really am kind of buttoned up and dialed in on the English market with the trends and how the market is moving, and the Japanese space is something that's new to me, and I'm really devoting a lot of time into learning and understanding, and the Japanese 151 booster boxes just seem like it's really, I mean, it is as safe of an investment, I think, as you can possibly come at right now. Now, I don't know if this product's going to be restocked in January. I've heard whispers that it might be. I don't know if it's ever going to be restocked at all. Maybe it is. Again, this isn't really my core focus. But whether it's restocked or not, I think I might pull the trigger and add a couple of these to the long-term personal collection, because even with the restocks, like, look, you can see on this all-time price chart right here, you see those dips. Every time it dipped, that was when a restock hit the market. It has always snapped back up. Like, it is back up at that $190, $200 mark, really within a couple months after every single restock. And basically that tells me is that all of the product that's hitting the market, there are tons of open arms waiting to absorb it, not just in Japan, but all over the world as well. So I get really excited when I see a product that does that. You think about Lost Origin, you think about Brilliant Stars, right? Some epic US sets that have been restocked and they're still struggling to get back up to that 1-year high. Well, Japanese 151 booster boxes, even after those restocks, they almost immediately snap back up, which is really exciting. Now, the other thing is, I told you we do a lot of data dives on this channel, right? I think it was a month ago, we looked at all of the 2021 and 2022 Japanese booster boxes that were printed, and we looked at how their prices have trended over the last 6 months. Now, this was absolutely insane. So we looked at 19 total booster boxes. 2 of them I couldn't find enough data on to analyze, but 16 of the 19 were up over that 6-month span. Now remember, over that 6-month span, a lot of the domestic Pokemon market here in the US wasn't doing good. Like, everything was in a little bit of a free fall. So to see 16 of those 19 booster boxes up in that 6-month time span was really encouraging. But then what was even more encouraging is 14 of the 19 were up 10% over that 6 months. 11 of the 19 were up over 25%, and 5 of the 19 were up over 50% in that 6-month time span. So, you know, I am a big proponent of don't buy what has gone up, buy what will go up. And the Japanese booster box market certainly seems really hot. But again, it's because of the strength and it's because of the foundation and the belief that I have in Japanese 151 booster boxes that it doesn't matter if it's just those other booster boxes are up because the Japanese market is hot. I think the 151 booster boxes are just about as safe of a bet as you can get right now. And I do think this is a product that is going to have both short and long-term price appreciation in it. So no matter what, I think I'm going to be adding this to the old Poké Closet. Now, the next one I'm talking about right here is safe, right? Evolving Skies. I haven't mentioned it in a long time, but what's got me excited about this is, as I just talked about, you know, the US market and the English market, those cards have been really soft here. Now we're starting to see them uptick just a little bit. We'll have to see if that was driven simply by Christmas, you know, and an increase of purchasing volume because people were gifting them as presents or not. But we're starting to see it tick up a little bit. But really, for the last 5 months, Evolving Skies booster boxes have been flat in regards to pricing, which is exciting for me, right? Like, Evolving Skies is the big set of Sword and Shield. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. Like, that is going to be the big chase set for years and years to come here in Sword and Shield. Now, the other thing that I looked at was Sun and Moon. Now, again, Sun and Moon's a different era. It went through the pandemic pump. Like, you can't really compare the two. But I will say this. 7 of the 12 Sun and Moon booster boxes right now are over $600. And you can't tell me that Evolving Skies won't eventually get to $600. Now, when will it happen? I don't know. It definitely isn't going to get to 2,000 like Team Up is, right? Team Up was driven by a real short print run. But Evolving Skies, I certainly think will finish well above a lot of those 7 of the 12 Sun and Moon boxes that are already over $600. Now, the other product I have on here is that 3-pack blister, and I have talked about this a lot. I've talked about the Umbreon card that is in there. It is a really hard card to get in a PSA 10, which I think is going to drive a lot of value and a lot of excitement around this 3-pack blister further down the road. Now, 3-pack blisters also have a really strong track record of performance just as it is, but the fact that you can get this at a 7-month low, 3 packs of Evolving Skies, and it's got the Umbreon in there, which is a super hard gem pull, like, I think that checks all the boxes. I am in love with this. I wanted to buy it a couple months ago, but it was still going up, and I thought, no, you know, there's better places to put my money right now. But as this has come down to a 7-month low, I'm getting really, really excited, and I think it's finally going to be time for me to add one of these to the Poké Closet as well. Now, the other things we're talking about right here is Brilliant Stars Trainer Gallery cards, and specifically these two, the Sylveon and the Umbreon. Now, I haven't had a lot of singles cards on this list in a long time because remember, when the market was going down, I am always focused on safety, right? Like, and there's no safer product in the Pokemon market than sealed products. So over the last 3 or 4 months, my top investment choices have all been sealed products, but I was excited to bring these out. Listen, Brilliant Stars is almost 2 years old. Like, there's no guarantee that they won't do more restocks or reprints, but I feel really good when these sets start to get past that 2-year mark. And then we did a video earlier on, which I'll show you in a minute, where we talked about how a lot of Brilliant Stars singles were really, really popping off. It was this video right here. And these cards right here seem to be just a little bit behind the growth curve compared to some of their peers. I love Sylveon as a Pokemon. I love Umbreon. Like, I love the fact that these artworks are absolutely fire. We've talked about how trainer galleries can be relatively similar to some of the cards that were printed in Sun and Moon just from an aesthetic standpoint. Again, they're not going to follow the same path. But these two cards from an epic set with epic art, and I feel like they're a little bit behind the price growth curve. It might be a great time to get in on these. Now, the reason I say it's behind the growth curve a little bit is these are the top 4 cards from Brilliant Stars. Like, look at that Rainbow Zard. It has popped up. The Charizard V alt art has been really, really strong. The Arceus V, it's hard to tell, but it actually had a really strong price movement over the last month, and that Ultra Ball has just been on fire for the last year. So when we talk about how awesome those 2 cards were we just talked about, and we see that a lot of the cards across the top of the Brilliant Stars singles landscape are doing so well, it gets me really excited about those 2, and it thinks that it might be the time to jump in. I like getting in on singles at like the 18 to 2 year month, like 18 month to 2 year mark. I feel like a lot of it's flushed out of the system, and it's a good time to get in and buy those singles. Now, the other one right here, and this might surprise a lot of people seeing this Charizard Ultra Premium Collection box on here. I think that this box has gotten a lot of bad press for a really, really long time. And I did have this on the list a couple months ago. But remember, this was released in late October of 2022. So we're now at the 14-month mark for this. And think about what's in the box, right? Just put everything aside. Forget about the print runs. Forget about the fact that everybody thought this was going to be a $400 box overnight. And then they just printed it. And you could buy it for, you know, 90 bucks at one point. Think about what's in the box, right? You got Fusion Strike packs, you got Lost Origin packs, you got Brilliant Stars packs, you got Evolving Skies packs. Like, that is a who of the whole Sword and Shield era. So the fact that these packs inside here, and it's still under $110, it's still under MSRP, like, I think this is going to be a great piece. Again, is it going to pop off overnight? Absolutely not. But when I think about what's in it, plus even those Charizard promo cards, right? Like, they're going to have some value further into the future. So We talked about this a couple months ago. It has been going up in price over the last 3 months. I mean, look at it. September, it was down, right in the $95 range, and now it's up to $108. So, hey, I'm not saying you got to back the Brinks truck up and get a bunch of these, but if you don't have one in the collection, this might be a good time to get it. Or if you've got a couple and you're looking to dollar cost average down, or if you just want to add a couple more, I think you can do a lot worse than this Charizard Ultra Premium Collection box. I think this one is going to do very well in that 5, 10, 15-year time horizon. Now, the very next ones right here are other ones where I simply have on this list because I'm thinking of downside protection. We got Battle Styles and Vivid Voltage booster boxes. Now, you all know that I warehouse my own data just to myself, right? I keep these Excel spreadsheets, and that's where I get all these crazy PowerPoint presentations from. So look at Battle Styles and Vivid Voltage. These are the booster box prices over the last 2 years, right? From January 22 all the way to December of 2023. Vivid Voltage and Battle Styles right now are at 12-month lows. Battle Styles is at a 12-month low from a booster box price. Vivid Voltage is at like a 15-month low in regards to booster box prices. Now, when we're talking about these, think about how old these are, right? I mean, Battle Styles is like 2.75 years old, right? Vivid Voltage is over 3 years old at this point. Again, I know Vivid Voltage was printed into the ground, but I still think that these are going to give us some great long-term returns when you think about what these prices could be in the long run. Think about the two lowest Sun and Moon booster boxes. As I said earlier, you can't really compare the two, but Rebel Clash and Sun and Moon Base, like Rebel Clash is at $206 a booster box and Sun and Moon Base is at $270 a booster box. Those are the absolute lowest price booster boxes that you can get from Sun and Moon. These two are, I just don't think they're as bad as those two. Not that the other two were bad, but Vivid Voltage has got the Rainbow Pikachu in it, like Battle Styles has a Tyranitar card in it, right? Like there's just some awesome cards in these sets, and I think that they have the opportunity to do well. Again, if you have a long-term time horizon and if you don't have these in the collection yet, I think these could be awesome times to pick these up because, hey, Sword and Shield is going to go down as a great era, and while these might not be the two biggest sets of that era, if you're trying to complete a booster box set, I think it's really cool to have a booster box from every single set from every era, so it might be an awesome opportunity to pick these up, and I certainly think the downside is protected. So, with all that being said, listen, if this kind of stuff excites you, if you enjoy content like this, hey, I am all about the data. I am all about giving you guys all of the tools in your tool belt to play chess when everybody else is playing checkers. So hit that subscribe button. If you have questions or comments, drop them down below. And as always, if you like what you see, give us a thumbs up. I appreciate you, and I will talk to you later. See you, everybody.